Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, this is the last topic for our lectures. So the title is on enzymes. So if you can memorize any examples of enzymes, so maybe you can throw out. So what are those examples of enzymes? So we have enzymes originate from protein base, and then basically enzyme is from protein, as you know, and then the functions will be different according to the active sites and also the punya substrate. So there is an enzyme specialized for protein, and also have enzyme specialized for carbohydrate, and also enzyme specialized for fat. Okay, so this is the basic structure of enzyme and also substrate. So enzyme is actually a protein lah. So the basic ingredients, bukan the basic structure of enzyme is amino acids lah. So enzymes are composed of long chains of amino acid that folded into complex 3D structure. So dia bentuk dalam 3D structure, and also it has a active site. So dekat enzyme dia ada active site. So this is the region where your substrate can bind with it. So basically this active site is very specific to the substrate. If your substrate is from protein, so dia punya shape tu sesuai dengan dia protein structure. Kalau carbohydrate, dia dia complement with the carbohydrate, and also for fat, so dia will be complements to the fat structure lah. So and then substrate, and then we have substrate. Once this substrate combine with this enzyme, so dia akan jadi itulah enzyme substrate complex. Dia akan membentuk one complex. Okay, then this is the structure of the active site. So how the active site look like? So dia ada all these chemical structure, and then dia ada important functional group yang akan bind dengan you punya substrate. Okay, and then the rest of the protein structure, so since it is in a 3D form, so betul-betul dekat yang akan bind with the substrate at this area lah, the area of active site. So the other protein or amino acid yang bind with this active site ataupun link with this active site, just to maintain the punya 3D position lah. Okay. Okay, next is this figure. Okay, see the figure on your left and also on your right. So, as I mentioned just now, so enzyme is a protein molecules that are present in all living things that speed up the target chemical reaction. So this is the function to speed up the reaction or target chemical reaction, as they lower the activation energy required for reaction to proceed. So this enzyme, once dia dah ada this complex enzyme plus substrate just now, so dia akan form enzyme substrate complex. And then during the catalysis process, dia akan form enzyme product complex. So dia akan produce dia punya product. So this product will be different from the original substrate lah. And then this enzyme, dia akan lower the activation energy. So what is the activation energy? So activation energy is the minimum amount of energy required for reactant to undergo a chemical reaction and form product. So it's a minimum energy lah untuk dekat the substrate. So if we compare reaction with and without enzyme, we can see the difference in terms of the activation energy. Usually if the reaction is with the absence of enzyme, dia punya activation energy will be higher lah, akan tinggi And then kalau with the presence of enzyme, dia punya activation energy is low. Maksudnya dia memerlukan tenaga yang sikit lah to 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 cut the substrate or to speed up the reaction. So with the presence of this enzyme, dia cepat dapat produk lah So they speed up the process because they use a very low energy. So in food processing, so enzymes can modify the ingredients to enhance flavor, texture, shelf life, and nutritional value. So, for examples, flavor, how this enzyme can contribute for the flavor. Because lipase dia akan cut you punya triglyceride and then it will produce different types of fatty acid. So that fatty acid is in shorter chain So dalam pigment-pigment yang kecil and then it will produce flavor lah dalam bentuk fatty acid. And then for example texture contoh such as pectinase, cellulase, so dia akan break down dia punya cell wall lah biasanya untuk fruit and vegetables to speed up dia punya process for the extraction And then for example lagi apa shelf life for examples glucose oxidase they reduce dia punya oxygen levels in packaging reducing spoilage and extending the freshness. And then untuk nutritional value, protease biasanya untuk protein dia akan cut down all the complex protein into short chain or oligopeptide chain or in the form of amino acid So dia akan increase dia punya digestibility and then bagus untuk nutritional value especially for kids or adulterants ataupun for sick people. Okay. Okay, next is classification of food enzymes. So number one, we have hydrolase. So the example is protease, lipase, and carbohydrates. So hydrolase, it relates with water lah, with presence of H2O. Okay, and then number two, oxidoreductase, oxidation and reduction process. So the examples of enzymes are glucose oxidase and catalase. Number three is isomerase. Isomer means dia ada rearrangement Dia ada rearrangement of certain group chemical groups So the rearrangements of the structure And then number four is transferase. Contohnya is transglutaminase. So the transfer of functional groups to the other structure So you can faham and understand the meaning behind these enzymes Okay, kita tengok yang first hydrolase. So hydrolase catalyze the breakdown of molecules by adding water. Okay, so with the presence of water So contoh lipase it hydrolyze fats into glycerol and fatty acid. So with the presence of H2O, so they break down triglyceride into glycerol and fatty acid. And then number two, carbohydrates. So amylase, they break down starch into simple sugar. So daripada starch, dia boleh dapat maltose and then continue by getting glucose using maltase. And then for the proteinase, pepsin, trypsins for meat tenderization in cheese making. So from protein, complex protein, dia pakai proteinase and then dia dapat peptide and amino acid. So dia pakai pepsin and trypsin. So that's why bila kita buat meat, kita masukkan this proteinase, so meat tu akan jadi soft because the complex protein dia dah break down into simpler structure. And then number two is oxidoreductase. So oxidoreductase catalyze oxidation and reduction reaction. So kalau oxidation dia akan loss of electron, kalau reduction dia akan gain electron. Okay, so the examples for oxidoreductase, we have glucose oxidase. So this glucose oxidase will be used in preserving food by removing oxygen. So reduction, and then hydrogen peroxide, they use catalase, so the enzyme is catalase. They break down hydrogen peroxide into water and oxygen. So here the loss of hydrogen and lose electron. Okay, next is number three, isomerase. Isomerase, ingat dia punya examples is glucose isomerase. So dia punya keyword is isomer. Isomer is rearrangement of atom within a molecule. So dia punya chemical punya formulation will be the same, cuma dia punya arrangement of atom dalam tu will be different lah. So isomerase is to catalyze the rearrangement of atoms within a molecules. So in this case, glucose isomerase, they converts glucose to fructose. Okay, last is transferase. So transferase, the function is to transfer functional groups from one molecule to another. So examples is transglutaminase. It used to improve texture by cross-linking of protein. So basically bila kita pakai transglutaminase, dia punya structure tu akan jadi lebih strong lah sebab dia ada berlaku cross linking. So kita mainkan cross linking, maksudnya dia cross from different molecules so dia join together the molecule. So you can see here dia punya structure tu protein without transglutaminase and then with the presence of transglutaminase dia akan linkkan, so dia boleh jadi 3D structure and dia punya structure is quite strong. So transglutaminase, so one molecule will be the donor and another molecule will be the acceptor lah. So yang red color tu will be the acceptor. So dia akan donate the amide group so dia kan cross link. So usually transglutaminase biasanya dia relates dengan protein structure untuk nak bagi structure tu lebih stabil and strong. So application of transglutaminase, so if they extract this enzyme from microbes so it is widely used in various food applications contoh dalam gelatin, fish, meat product, whey protein, casein, basically untuk protein base lah dia orang pakai transglutaminase.